this is my first ever Zoom meeting, so I'll be got the L plates on for this one.
Okay, well, this is the first time we've used this the software for such a big thing like this. So I think it's a little bit of suck it and see for all of us. But it's amazing because Richard, am I correct? Are you in Kawara Beach? That's north of Cairns, isn't it?
That's correct. Yep, exactly.
Wow. Okay, that's great. Well, it's easier to get here tonight via Zoom.
Yeah, a lot easier.
Yes. So we've got yourself, and then south we've got Philip Rout, who's in Port Macquarie. So that's great. Peter Coleman is on Coolum, the Sunshine Coast, correct?
Yep, Coolum Beach.
And
yep.
Brendan is at Cambodia on the Darling Downs, and Gary, you're at the Sunshine Coast somewhere, aren't you?
I'm at Budrum on the Sunshine Coast.
Budrum. Okay. All right. That's fantastic.
Gary, I just posted on Facebook a picture of the Bowden's HQ from Saturday.
Okay.
I've got a few others I can put on too.
Hi, Gary.
Oh, sorry, who's that? Oh, Jeanette. Hello. How are you? Two for the price of one.
It's good.
Two Zooms, no waiting.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, there's some lovely photos from the Bowden's Day.
Yeah, no, it looks like you had a great time.
Yes, yes. And I think Dan was in his element. Goodness gracious. He has got a wicked sense of humour, as is reflected in his naming conventions with his products. So, yes, he's...
I did read one of the labels on one of the microfiber mats.
yes.
And there was all the instructions down the bottom, and the last instruction said, "Don't wear your cap backwards."
Dear.
Here's a card.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And they've I don't know if you're aware, but the family's just gone through a tragedy. They've lost their Chris Bowden's daughter was killed in an accident a few weeks back. In fact, that was why the original date was postponed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because it had just happened. Yes, the poor young girl was killed in a quad bike accident.
Yeah, well, I heard about the quad bike accident.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear, I didn't know it was Chris's. I worked with Chris on the Noosa Classic car rally.
Okay. He Dan was saying that he and his wife are absolutely shattered. Like,
of course.
And that event that Dan did was the first time that he has come back since the incident.
Yeah.
And he said it was cathartic just to get out and do something again.
Yeah, they're a close family.
Very.
I spoke to him about his dad too. His dad's ailing.
Yes.
And they're very concerned about protecting him from any COVID threat.
Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. But
the good blokes. Have you
absolutely.
taken the club up to their actual warehouse of vehicles?
Not since I've been around, no, but they have in the past, some 5 or 6 years ago, visited. But its entry has been quite restricted over the last little while. So
yeah, indeed,
we haven't gotten to see too much. Alex Irvine, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, for everyone, Alex Irvine is a member of the committee, Club Queensland. He looks after all our merchandising.
And we've got a special for tonight for Gary.
Oh, a
Yeah,
special.
the Gary with 2 R's has arrived. With the Vice President of the BMW Touring Club in New South Wales, Steve Trelaw.
Good day.
Oh, hello. How are you, Steve?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Now we'll only be here shortly, and then we'll bail out now.
No, that's okay.
Obviously, it started. It's working. It's
Yes.
recording,
Yes. Well, it's
and
great.
I've handed over control to Gary with 1 R.
Yep.
It has the power over everyone else to mute and otherwise make it like misbehave.
Okay. And the way the license work, there's no time cut off. The free one, I think, is an hour, isn't it?
Yeah. The free one, we put you down for 3 hours.
Right. Okay.
If you need more, then we'd have to go back.
No.
So there's a default
No.
3 hours. Most people have gone out by 3 hours. If you're still going 3 hours from now, good on you.
People will be sick of me in 3 hours' time, I'm here to tell you. So.
It's capped at 100 people with the license that Clubs Australia has. So if you get 100, let me know. That'd be outstanding.
Yeah, no, we're not expecting that at all.
If you want to we can convert to a webinar, which some of you probably had that inflicted on you. You can have 1,000 people at your webinar. So
No. That's small steps. Small
Talking
steps.
everybody is terrible.
Yeah.
So I would think I'm a great fan of this. I think for reaching out to your regional members, those who don't want to drive across town, or in Canberra's case, people don't drive 15 minutes. That's like
Yes.
well across town.
Well, we've got a gentleman here from Quora Beach, north of Cairns, so that's nearly 1,800 kilometres north,
Yep.
and another couple from Port Macquarie, which is about 500 kilometres south in New South Wales.
Yeah. So I think in that aspect you'll find it great.
Incredible.
If you end up going back to club rooms, which everyone's keen to go to club rooms, maybe that never affected Brisbane-based or Queenslanders, then you'll probably be looking for a camera and a microphone to enhance the experience. So
Yes.
to talk at. If everyone's sitting in front of a computer, works fine, like we are now.
Yeah.
If you're in a larger room, then you'll need the camera and the microphone to get
Yes.
the masses.
No, I think this is great, because at least this way people get an opportunity to give us feedback from remote regions and see if we can do something for them. So that's great.
Excellent.
Well, thank you for setting that up.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Free service.
Perfect. No.
There, we'll leave you with it.
Okay. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, guys.
Have a good chat.
Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
All the best.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
So, Alex, what were you about to say?
Oh, nothing really. Just for Gary. I mean, we're quite capable of producing caps with the peak at the back.
Oh. Well, thank you, Alex. I saw you hold that cap up and I thought, well, I'm going to have to put in an order for one.
Yeah. No trouble. No trouble.
Well, you won't get into Bowden's wearing it like that.
Well, it might be just a wee bit of a tickle, but we could produce one through the next lot,
Right.
and send it to them.
Right.
I'm
Okay. So
glad we're thrilled.
it looks like we've got Greg Timms. G'day. Your microphone is off at the moment, Greg. Can't hear you. You will find probably a switch in the interface that turns your microphone on.
Now, Gary, now that I know that I'm in and all the rest of it, I'm going to have to leave you for a while.
Okay.
And I'll come back and join you when you're in full swing.
Okay. No worries. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Gary. Okay. Thank you.
Righto, Gary, can you hear me now?
Perfect. Good evening and welcome.
Excellent. Yep, glad to be there.
Yes. So for everyone, Greg Timms, our drive coordinator, club captain, looks after a lot of things in the background. So welcome. And
Good evening, everyone.
thank you. And Ray, from where your microphone, if you want to switch that on for a moment, say hello.
Hi all.
So whereabouts are you, Ray? Is Inaugural, is it?
Yeah, so I'm just a bit over the border.
Yes, yes. Well, we're spread far and wide, which is absolutely wonderful. So that's exactly what it's all about. Okay, I'm not sure who else. Let me just check the registration list to see who we might be waiting on, if anyone else is coming, but I think that's about it. We've got Tony Jones from St. George, hasn't appeared yet. Brendan, Graham Vader, Pete Coleman, and John Payne hasn't shown. Everyone else is. Okay. So let's kick off. This is recording. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along tonight. This really is about just trying the technology and talking to you all to find out what we can do and make it more inclusive for people who are remote, who still are involved in the club and would like to participate in whatever way that we can come up with to make it happen for you all. Just welcome all. So again, I'll just run through everyone. So there's Peter Coleman, who's on the Sunshine Coast at Coolum, and Alex Irvine, committee member, merchandise. Thank you. Greg Timms, drives and club captain. Ray from Inverell, thank you. Brendan from Cambodia. Philip and Jeanette from Port Macquarie. Richard from Kawara Beach, north of Cairns. And Vader, you're down Byron Bay, is it?
Byron, yeah.
Byron, excellent.
Just over the hill from Inverell.
Well, people are close. Can I just get Greg? Can you just briefly introduce yourself and give everyone just a quick rundown of who you are and what you do? And well, in fact, we're rather proud. Greg earlier this year was awarded life membership to the club, so that's a very special, very special honour.
Yeah. So I'll start. And you want sort of a name, rank, and serial number in relation to?
Yeah. Basically, when you join the club, your favourite cars and your favourite wife. Mustn't forget Leanne.
Right. Hi guys, my name's Greg Timms. I joined the club back in September of 1999, so it's about 22 years ago. And I haven't left. It's been continuous membership ever since, and fell in love with what the club was all about, which was motorsport, driving and socialising. So that sort of ticked all the boxes for me. And I was initially motorsport director from 2001 for 5 odd years. Then I became social director. Then I became membership officer for another 5 years. So it was full on for the first 13 odd years of membership life. And then I took a bit of a break, and now I'm back on board being drive coordinator and club captain. So have enjoyed the journey considerably. And, I think it's a wonderful way to share a passion for BMWs and what they represent, their heritage, their history. And, it's a good thing, and I've enjoyed it along the way. That's me.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Greg has had a number of BMs, currently driving a E39, had E24, and Leanne's got a lovely E46.
That's good.
Yes. So Alex, our other committee member, may I just get you to give us a brief hello?
Yeah, certainly. My name's Alex Irvine. I look after the merchandise. It's linked to my daily occupation, so I enjoy it. I've done it for years. I've been only a member of the club for 4 years. I bought a BMW for family excursions. I've got a E36 convertible. Some of the people, including Leanne and the other one's Gary, described me as a BMW virgin. I learn something every day. Only yesterday, I noticed when I filled my fuel tank up, had empty, half full, and 1-1. So I've never noticed that before. So there's all sorts of things.
Yes.
Anyway, apart from that, I look after the merchandise and thoroughly enjoy it.
And I will thank Alex, because as you may have seen, we've done some great stuff with merchandise this year after being prompted because of the change of logo. We looked at redoing a lot of our merchandise, getting new merchandise and creating the online store, which has been extraordinarily successful. It's just been fantastic. The other great part about it is because of Alex's background in the industry, he can access really high quality clothing and paraphernalia, which makes it really economical for us as club members. So, Alex, thank you very much.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Okay. Okay. Now, we'll just go through. Pete, Pete Coleman, can you give us a brief rundown of where you are?
Yeah, sure.
And,
Look,
and
I've
your
been.
cars? Yep.
Yep. Look, I think I've been a member for around about 8 or 9 years. I've got an E36 M3 Paris Dakar Yellow, and I've recently bought a F83 M4. I really enjoy the motorsport side of the club. I regularly take the M3 to the track and enjoy it immensely. We also enjoy the brekkie runs and all those those country drives we do through the scenic rim round southeast Queensland here. I can honestly say that we were welcomed with open arms to the BMW club back in the early days by Greg Timms, who on the first meeting made us feel more than welcome to the club, and we felt that way ever since. And it's been a great experience to be part of, and still to this day enjoy it. Looking forward to the next outing at Lakeside in a couple of weeks.
Perfect. I also have an E36 M3, and Pete was saying that he recently had his dual Vanos system overhauled and had brought the car back to life after 20 years. It just gets a little bit tired. You were saying that it gets up and goes.
It does, yeah. Look, I've had the E36 for about 10 years and just kept it as in good condition as I can. And most of the work I get done through Justin Wade at Tingalpa through Midas, and his recommendation was to go to America to Dr. Vanos, and we got a swap Vanos unit, and honestly the E36 just sings along. It's running like a clock, so couldn't be happier.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you very much, Pete. Vader, can you give us a brief rundown? I must plead my ignorance. I'm not sure about your background or your involvement at all.
No, well, I joined at the beginning of last year, primarily because my good friend had talked me into joining him out at Morgan Park, and I had a few BMWs E30 back 15 years ago, and then couple of E46 325s. But this same friend introduced me to the concept of your life car, and if you're not driving it already, well, you know, you're grey enough around the edges to have it. So I got myself a 135, a little blue 135. So I've been very happy punting that around, and had a bit of fun out there at Morgan Park until, of course, the border closed down for us. So now I've just got to find a nice bit of twisty road early in the morning around here. But I did live in Brisbane for a few years back in the 80s, but I've been in Byron now for 35 years, and yeah, enjoying it down here. Run a training centre. But yeah, my friend's got an M2, and so we enjoy having a bit of a tour around the place. All I can do is look on in wonder at the fabulous trips around that you guys are getting into around Brisbane there and the scenic rim.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully we'll get across the border again and enjoy your company.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, Ray Roberts, Inaugural. Tell us a bit about yourself and your car.
I've been a member since, what, 2015? I joined when I think Ian was president at the time. And I did a borders run. So I had to drive from Inaugural. This is how stupid I was at the day. I drove from Inaugural here, stayed the night in Brisbane, then done a borders run. I think you guys go down to the pub, I think it is, right on the thing.
Yes.
You didn't take that into account. I drove 4 hours up. Next drive was that. Then I went home the next day after that. I literally had to stay a bit longer after that one. When I started, I had an E46. These days I have the X5 because of health reasons. I had to upgrade to the bit bigger one. Have learnt the V8s is not as fun as you think they are when it comes to maintenance.
Definitely not. Speaking from experience.
Oh yeah, I just had the alternator gasket done in it and the valve covers done on it, and it cost me $6,000 at my BMW dealership.
Okay.
Because I can't get up and see Piers at the moment, which is very frustrating. He's a good guy,
Yes.
and he doesn't charge that much. Just that the border's closed and I just can't get up at the moment. So, and as of December till March, I won't be able to drive anywhere. Mr. Policeman's not happy when you get clocked at 148 kilometres an hour. 100 zone.
Ouch. Okay.
One hit the pocket.
Oh dear. Oh well.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah.
Well, that's when you take the car off the road and do all your maintenance on it.
That's what I'm doing.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I've got 5 boxes sitting over at the poor guy over here, which is cooling system, the whole lot.
Yes. Yes.
So it'd be a full overhaul, but yeah, no problem. It's nice talking now and meeting a few members again. Yeah. Yeah, I do get to where that gentleman is, Byron, and I do port a bit occasionally. So I know how far port is for me is about 5 hours, I think it is, comfortably 4 hours.
Yep.
I spent a lot of times, and I can remember, this shows you how old I used to go there. I can remember when the ridges over there was the Sheraton by 4 Point, and the lady will answer that question. Nice to have problems. I will let someone else talk though, but it was nice talking and getting to know you guys.
No, it's great. Thanks very much. Good to see you, Ray. I'll just jump along. I noticed that Dennis Weiss has joined us. Dennis, your microphone is currently off. So if you would like to just turn your microphone on.
Done it. How's that? Evening all.
Yes.
Evening, Dennis.
So Dennis Weiss is our motorsport director. Everyone, Dennis, would you like to just introduce yourself?
I think everybody should know who I am, probably, if not by post, by email.
No, I've never met you before, mate.
Yeah, well, I've been looking after the motorsport now for the club for too long. It's over 10 years. And we've got a great motorsport program with some really good people, as Peter will attest, and a very good record. There's not much more we can say. Just if you happen to get down this neck of the woods, and we've got an event on, then by all means come and see us. They're all open to all members. If not participating, at least spectate.
Excellent.
Anyway, we'll put it the other way. Has anyone got any motorsport questions they want? Don't all shout at once.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the other thing, I'll just make sure that everyone is aware that Dennis is also a life member of BMW Club Queensland. So a very special group of long-serving and wonderful committee members, and does a lot for the club, as you all probably know. Okay, move on. Let's Brendan Cook. Good evening and welcome. Tell us about yourself.
Evening.
What are you doing?
Hiding in
Tell
the
us about your
dark.
cars.
Freezing my ass off. Remember I said it was quite warm and comfortable for. I'm wearing a jacket now. I currently have 5 BMW and 2 7 Series, 2 1 Series, and you can't really see it because it's dark, my racer that hasn't made a track yet. Sorry, Dennis.
Yep.
They
I
all
build
take
race
time.
cars. Current projects are a hybrid 1 Series. I'm looking at 1100 horsepower, just to bring in some interest to changing the rules in 2024, making sure people can still get modular engines for their race cars and be legal to racing in club events and stuff like that in the future. I've been a club member since, I think might be about this time last year, actually, sort of mid-November. Trying to be a bit more involved in the club, but distance and children certainly prevent that a lot. So hopefully this Zoom goes well.
Well, life tends to get in the way a little bit, but you know, that's what
Oh yes,
what trying this is all about, to you know, just connect people a little more and just give you that little bit extra drive to know that there are other people out there doing, and you know, it's not that hard. Brendan was instrumental just recently in introducing us to Emerge Cafe in Toowoomba, who was one of the 2 recipients of our charitable work. In fact, we've got a run up to Toowoomba this coming Sunday to visit the cafe. I just want to thank Brendan for his involvement in that and his support for that organisation as well. Also, when you mentioned before, you were talking about, did you say a hybrid 1100
Yes.
horsepower?
yeah,
Hybrid,
yeah.
like as in electric.
That has petrol. Yeah.
Electric petrol, what? Is it bloody Formula 1 car or something?
No, it's a 1 Series.
It's a 1 Series with 1100 horsepower. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
We're stripping it back to 850 odd kilograms, and it's going to be a lot of excitement.
Okay.
Can't really go into details on the engine because BMW have not yet released it.
Okay. All right. Well,
horsepower more than you need for Lakeside.
yeah.
Wow, you know.
I think we need to stay
I'm planning
tuned.
on catching a bit.
Sorry, say that again. You broke up. Say again.
I'm hoping to catch and beat some Teslas at some stage.
They're not that quick.
Oh, excellent. So it should be easy then.
They're right in a straight line, but they're not real good around the bendy bits.
Yeah.
No,
Don't
yes,
tell them I said
they have very similar air strut suspension to the 7 Series, and it's really good cruising. And when you start getting into some tight corners, it's a bit hairy. You feel the 2 tons swinging around quite excitedly.
Oh wow. Oh, sounds great. All right. Well, thanks very much, Brendan. We'll move on to Philip and Jeanette down south of the border again.
Hi, everybody. Phil and I are quite new to the club. We only joined 12 months ago and intended to spend a lot of time north of the border. However, COVID sort of put pay to a lot of that. We can make it up for one motorsport meeting. and the AGM, which was kind of nice to get to meet a few other people. All I can say is for the motorsport, Dennis did a great job on that day, considering both Phil and I are quite novices at the motorsport days. So that was wonderful, and he did gave us a lot of help and guidance.
Pleasure.
We've just acquired a third BMW. We have an 850i convertible. We have the M2 competition, which is what goes to the track, which is about to have a few upgrades done to it. And we've just bought the practical car of the X5. So we got converted to BMW after buying the 850, and I don't know that we'll ever buy any other type of car again.
They are addictive, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we hope to be a lot more involved in the club as soon as things change a little bit and we can travel north more often.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, well, we're absolutely wanting to see you guys up here. In fact, all of you from down south. It's amazing how restrictive it is, and not just to be able to go across the border. Okay, Phil, what's happening with the progress on your M2? Have you done anything to it yet, or is it just still waiting to travel?
Yeah, we've got some people up north that I'm trying to organise to do some things, but we can't get there, so there's a bit of a problem there.
Of course. Okay.
I'm trying to turn it into a bit of a project, but I'm close to a divorce at the moment, so I have to be very careful what I do. So I was only saying to tell you about here, but when Jeanette's not around, I'll give you the full story. But no, look, it's great. We joined the club. Just to reiterate what Greg said earlier, actually, is that we joined the club for the same reasons that Greg did, and we're busting to actually get involved in the same way, you know, with the people, with the events, with the drive days, the social events, and unfortunately we're frustrated by this damn virus. So the cars, whilst they're great things, they're really just a common interest, aren't they? It's the club that counts, and like we've been members of many different types of clubs, but this one, I think Greg said it ticked all the boxes for him. Well, it looks like it does for us too. It's just we need to get up there a bit more often and get it. So that was our catalyst for doing it, and just so happens that we bought a BMW and loved it. So we've got something to talk to everyone else about.
Perfect. Perfect.
Cool.
Yes.
To seeing everybody a bit more often. That's the
yes. Just stand around in a car park somewhere and talk cars.
Usually in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
Have you managed, Phil, to do anything with the New South Wales club, at least you're on that side of the border?
Oh, look, we joined the club when we bought the M2. We joined the Sydney club in the expectation that we might go down and do a few track days, but of course they went into lockdown before your club, in fact. The level money. And so we've not actually set foot on their territory, believe it or not. And the closest thing we've got now is on Sunday, we're ducking down to Bathurst for a drive day with one of those V8 people, you know, just to get some practice in. Because I want Jeanette to have a few laps before she kills me on the road. So, so we booked a day down there, or a couple of drives actually, just to have a bit of a run. And then as soon as the borders open, I mean, we'll try and get up, but there's going to be a crazy rush from New South Wales once they flag up there. And look, we don't really want to be part of the crush, but I'll talk to you later, Dennis, I suppose, about the calendar of events for next year. And
I've just sent an email off to Lakeside and QR this morning with proposed dates. I just got to, they're all available on the calendar, but I can't obviously air them until they confirm that I can have them all.
Excellent.
So they'll be hopefully in the next, by next week, they should all be up.
Excellent. All right. We'll see you there as soon as it's on.
Excellent. Oh, well, it's fantastic. It's lovely to see you and hear you. That's
Thank
great.
you.
So let's shoot up to Cairns. Richard Campbell, can we ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement and what you drive and your interest?
I have an E12, E39, and an F10. So yeah, I got a little problem, but you know, I joined originally maybe 5, maybe 6 years ago.
All right.
And I was a member for a couple of years, and then I dropped out, mainly for the fact that I am up here in far north Queensland, where it's not cold and you don't need a jacket on right now. I got the air conditioning running.
That's right.
And so because I am so far north, there was actually no benefit. The only real benefit that I got was the magazine, when it used to come out in hard copy. And then I came back earlier this year because in order for me to hold a Motorsport Australia license, I got to be a member of a club.
Okay.
So yeah, so I do officiating at supercars, the Targa rallies, and of course I try and make a biannual trek to Mecca.
Yes.
And that's the Nürburgring.
Wow. Fantastic.
I'll be going this year.
Oh, excellent.
Next year, I should say. So yeah, so I when I got a copy of the email saying that you were going to hold a Zoom meeting, which took in, you know, account of the more regional members, I was quite interested. So that's why I tuned in. It's difficult up here. I would, Dennis, I'd love to go down to Lakeside and hang out with you guys. I really would. But the problem I have is one, is the driving distance, and my daily drive's the F10 down. It's not a stock F10 either, but it's impractical. It's impractical. So so Phil's got the M2. I'd love to have a drive in the M2 at Lakeside.
We have that many M2s now. Run a class
yeah, so that's one of the my problems, or a problem with being remote. I mean, I'm not like 500 Ks remote. Even you know, with the talk of perhaps a trek in Townsville, that would be like next door for me, you know. But at this stage, I think it's more on paper than it is in actuality or in progress. So yeah, so that's about me.
Thank you. Now tell me about your, did you say you had an E9 and an
No, E12.
E12, sorry.
E12 520, 77.
Yes.
1999 E39.
Right.
Which is a little 523.
Yes.
And a 535 F10.
Right.
Stage 2 DCAT.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. The older ones, have you had those for a while, or
the E39 is the one I've had the longest. That would be 6 years. No, more. Geez, probably 7 years now. And the E12, probably about 4 years.
Right. And do you work on the cars yourself? Are you mechanical?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually a boat skipper, so
Oh, okay.
engineer as well. So yeah, I've
Okay.
changed a lot of gaskets, man. On yeah, I know all about BMW gaskets.
Right. Right. Oh, that's excellent. Yes, well, in fact, whilst I was thinking about, what I wanted to achieve out of this, I started thinking about whether or not it would be feasible to actually have, because in the past, over the years, the BMW clubs have run national get-togethers every couple of years. And I thought, well, why don't we have our own Queensland weekend away, and we base ourselves like somewhere up north at Townsville or someone like that, and get everyone to congregate and try and, get everyone together just for a weekend or something.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
They hold the Cairns Ironman, right? And they actually close between Palm Cove and Port Douglas, the Captain Cook Highway. So it's a 50K stretch. So that's all we need to do is close that, and I guarantee everyone, because that road is wicked.
It might take a little bit of doing that one.
Yes.
Mind you, I reckon if you just rolled up with the barriers and put the barriers up, nobody'd know.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, put the barriers up and put some guys in blue shirts and yeah.
Yes. You talk about the green hell. Well, yes, that'd sort the men from the boys. That's a wonderful road. That's great. Oh, Philip.
I was just going to ask Richard whether or not they run the Targa up that road from Cairns to Port Douglas.
No, they don't. The operators, the tourism operators and the hotel operators they're absolutely up in arms every time Ironman comes. I think for anyone to get another road closure during the year would be next to impossible. They raise hell about it every year. It causes a big disruption. Now they run the Targa up the Gillies Range Road, which is from Gordonvale up, and they also run it on the Coranda Road. Both of those are very challenging. The Gillies Range is about 23 kilometers climb, and they run it both ways, so up and down.
Oh. Yes, well, that'd certainly sort out your suspension with all those bends. Yes, it's wonderful. Okay, thanks, Richard. I just noticed that we've got our membership officer has just logged in. Everyone, John Payne, our membership officer. John, would you just like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, or tell the gathered members a little bit about yourself? Your microphone's not on, John.
Yeah, hi everyone. I've been a club member since 2013, and last year Leanne Timms basically discovered that I'd retired when COVID arrived. So she said, "Why don't you come on the committee, John?" So I got roped in and been doing the membership for about 18 months now. So it's been a good fun. A lot of fun to actually communicate with people and try and get the whole membership smoothed out. And we've made a few changes, which is not only lowered cost but also lowered the workload. And but also I think it's a nice fresh, like the new membership cards, a fresh appearance and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's come along well.
Right, and John's got a couple of really interesting cars, an E31, a 7 Series, and an amazing race car that will be debuting soon.
Yeah, the race car's been quite a build. I actually had a race car prior to COVID, and I was in the process of building a new engine for it, a S54 engine from a P46 M3. And anyway, my mechanic said to me when COVID hit, he said there was no racing, so why don't you bring the car in for and we'll do the engine change and get it back out on the road before the racing starts. And unfortunately, when we did the engine and gearbox swap, the four mounts basically didn't line up properly, and we discovered the car actually had a bent chassis rail. So the end result was we had to go find a nice straight E36 BMW and start from scratch, which, you know, totally stripping it and putting a new roll cage in, the whole work. So it was, it's still not on the road yet. We're putting a new, an entirely bespoke electrical system in it, and the guy doing it unfortunately got some health problems, so that's why it's dragging on a bit. But yeah, it's been an interesting thing. It's kept me busy both in retirement and also during the COVID time, where we tend to be a bit isolated. The car came out of the garage for a show at our Show of Excellence at McLean's Bridge earlier in the year. It certainly is a beautiful looking thing. So I'm sure that it will no doubt drive as well as it looks. Yeah, I don't know if this can be seen. But, yeah.
Right. No. It's a beautiful, beautiful orange. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Gary, up the Sunshine Coast. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself? And
okay. Yeah. You know, I'm a fairly recent new member. I've been with you for a couple of years. And obviously, my involvement has been primarily when you venture up this way. And COVID, of course, hasn't made that too easy. But I've been a member of the Mercedes Club in Canberra in my previous career, and I had a 450 SLC. And when I came up to the Sunshine Coast to retire, I was in defence for 35 years. I decided to buy the 635. So I bought that in 2006 and drove it for a number of years. And I was involved with the Noosa Classic Car Club. And my first exposure was doing the Noosa Classic Car Rally, which was an inaugural event. It was a great success, except for money-wise. And it was really done off the back of the rally in South Australia. We went down there and learned all the ropes and came back and ran it in the hinterlands of the Sunshine Coast, and also the hill climb that we have up in the hinterlands of Noosa. So and we had an enormous turnout, 150 cars, Cobras, Ferraris, and of course, you know, you've got everybody's Tirana and all the rest of it. But there are a lot of cars up here on the Sunshine Coast because they love the hill climb. And then I got involved with the Noosa Classic Car Show, which happens every year. And I was the chairman and ran the one in 2010, which was Rolls-Royce was the mark of the year. And I don't mind saying, you know, I left the Noosa Classic Car Club because having introduced them to the world of computers and doing things like bookings online and scoring through electronic spreadsheets and so on, I then found that they went back, the committee went back on its promise to incorporate it if it was successful, and it was very successful. But they decided not to do it. They wanted to go back the old way of doing things with you know, paper and all the rest of it. So so I left that club and I haven't been back there. But my 635, with COVID, I decided, who popped that up there?
I did.
Gary did.
Oh, I did. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, very nice. And that's after 5 years of being in refurbishment. The car's an original, delivered to Australia, driven by a Medico on the Gold Coast. It was bought by John Briggs from Western Australia. He had a few things done to it, and then he decided to bug out, and I bought it. It was a running concern. It's got 150,000 K on it now. But I've been buying lots of bits for it, and over the last 3 years, it's been in a workshop at Kunda Park and also down at Adam Smith in Brisbane, where we've been doing all the things that are necessary to keep it original and running. And there it is. That was my first outing after driving it back from Brisbane last Thursday. Lovely. So I'm really pleased now to being a going concern with your club and having a car and fun days to share with club members.
That's fantastic.
Just about to cross that area too.
I had one of those ones too.
I just bought one through. Sorry, I just bought a 635 3 weeks ago.
Mm.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm looking at how much everything's going to cost for it, I'm wondering.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but you know, they're a fantastic car. I drove it on the weekend after our trip out to Bowden's and took it up through the hills behind Yamundi and so on. And it's just a joy to motor with, and it's my age, so you know.
Well, they're not that old.
Yeah, goodness me. Yeah, it's an old classic, and you know, although it's the first one with electronics and so on, it's still a basic car compared to all the electronic aids you have today. Wizardry. It's just lovely to feel everything working and doing what you're asking it to do.
Yes, that's wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. So I think that's just got through everyone. I would like just now take a few minutes just to run through a few things just to keep everyone up to date remotely. Obviously, being remote, being on top of the technology that we've got available to you all, I think is really important. And we've got some stuff in the planning as well. So I'm just going to share my screen now. So hopefully you should be able to see the club logo, country members Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
You got that?
Yes.
Okay. So I created a new group from our database, and we've got basically 123 members who are outside of the the Brisbane catchment area. There's lots of people sort of remote. Now, a lot of these people are, you know, on the Gold Coast and on the Sunshine Coast, so not that far, but still, you know, it is a schlep to come to meetings and that sort of stuff. So that was one of the motivations to have, you know, Facebook Lives to our meetings. Meetings don't tend to be the most exciting things in the world, but we occasionally have some interesting people come along and talk. But just going on to our website, I just wanted to explain to people, just in case they weren't aware, when you log onto the website, when you log on, you should see up the top right, up the top banner, your name. Now, if you click on that, that will take you through to your personal information, your membership, events that you've subscribed to, all that sort of stuff. So that's the way that you can see about you know, your own information. Now, with the website, we use a system marketed under the name of Wild Apricot. So that's literally just the name of the software. This company also has a mobile app for both iPhone and Android. So if you go onto your relevant app stores, this Wild Apricot for members is what you will be interested in downloading. There is a Wild Apricot for administrators, so that's, you know, for the committee. But if you download that, put it on your phone, You then use exactly the same login credentials as you do for the website. So it's absolutely the same. So when you open the app, it will open up to your profile, which will show you things like events, tickets, things. Can I just ask everyone to mute their microphone? I'm getting some really strange noise coming through.
Yeah, I think that's Brendan actually. Keeps
Brendan?
popping up.
Oh, mine's still on.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Look, yeah. So if you click on the open the app, it takes you through to your profile. And if you click on my card, it actually shows you your membership card. So that will always be there on your phone. And obviously, it works nicely for us here in Brisbane because we can go into Brisbane BMW and get discounts for things. But anyway, it's there on your phone. Also, on the website, there's a section called blogs. And in there are a couple of little screen grabs on how to work those things so that while apricot for members, if you click on that, it will take you through a little step-by-step how it works. Then, as I mentioned before, really proud of our merchandise. Alex has done a fantastic job in creating the new merchandise, and we're doing some more stuff. There's some grill badges coming with the new logos. We've got shirts. We've got shirts for track days, pure cotton shirts and things like that. Really quite good pricing, so don't hesitate to jump on there. And Alex will. What we do, we tend not to carry a lot in stock, but we can turn around stuff and get it embroidered and sent out to you in quite quick time. So don't worry too much about that. Also, don't hesitate. On our website, last page in this pull-down banner is the contacts, showing you everyone's names, positions, mobile numbers, and email addresses. So make sure you help yourself to those if you need anything. Obviously, being remote, we want you to keep up to date. Also, a couple of things we're working on fine-tuning. We have both a Google photo album page and YouTube pages. So what I tend to do is every time there's an event, I'll create a Google photo album and just gather everyone's photos into those photo albums. So those photo albums are accessible to everyone. So you can add to the photos, add to the album if you have photos. You can download the photos from that album if you want to steal a photo and use it for something. And they're all there. So what we tend to do is when we bring out the magazine, we will put a link in the magazine. If we have an event, we'll put a link to that particular photo album. So all the photos for that particular event are linked to that Google photo album. So help yourself to that. And if you've got photos, please don't hesitate to give me a shout, and I'll point you in the right direction as to how to upload those and add to the pool. We've also we're reworking the our YouTube. I think I wrangled together the other day nearly 100 YouTube videos that I've either produced or done over the last few years. They're all up there. They're split into just general YouTube videos, but there's also a meeting section. So if you're really bored and you want to go back and watch a meeting, they're there. But you know, there's a couple of interesting meetings. We try and find interesting guest speakers, and sometimes there's some great people, and it's always great to look back at that. So as I said, we're creating a new web interface for that to make it easier to find. Also, another really exciting thing is that we'll be shortly launching our own classified ads section on the website. And the reason for that is that I would get 2 phone calls a week with people with cars for sale. Today, for example, I've had 4 phone calls and 3 emails, all about people wanting to sell cars and that sort of stuff. So although I don't mind doing it, there's got to be a better way. And what we decided to do is create our own classified ads section on our website that it will be user generated. So it will be free for members. If anyone from the public wants to use it, it might be a nominal charge of $10 or $20. We're also going to make it available for motor dealers if they have BMWs they want to sell. And that might be a little bit more, it might be $30, might be $50 or something. But it will be just like, a car sales thing. There'll be search filters, so you can filter through various models, various years, either petrol or diesel or electric or whatever. So that's being worked on at the moment. So it just means that now people will be able to put cars, also parts and miscellaneous. So it'll cover the whole thing, because at the moment we have BMW Cars and Parts for Sale as a Facebook group. But to my mind, we're just sending traffic away from the club, sending it to Facebook, and it gets lost and that sort of stuff. So what I'd like to do is bringing all this stuff back to the club. It will also mean that when people start searching for, you go to Google and go, I want to buy a BMW, our club classifieds might come up and they might go, oh, wow, we didn't know there was a BMW club. And they might stay and they might look at other pages. So that's sort of the thinking to that. Also, another big thing is the special interest vehicles, cars 30 years of age or more that can get concessional registration. Now, there is a way and we're creating yet another page on our website. And so this is draft for special interest vehicles. And the idea is that when you go on the website, there is the special interest vehicles are really highly policed. If you're only allowed to be driving your car either to a sanctioned club event or to and from your motor mechanic, there's a couple of other things you can do. And police will pull you up, and unless you can prove that you're going to one of those events, you will get fined, and it's happening all the time. But there is a way around that. There's something called an impromptu event. Now, an impromptu event is something that our members can instigate themselves, literally by going on the website and registering a drive. Now, you don't have to be doing anything other than going somewhere and coming back. So all you have to be able to do if you get pulled up, you have to be able to prove that on the club website, there is an event and it's you, and you've left your wherever the car is, and your destination is such and such a place, and then you're going back to another place. So it's a sanctioned event by the club that you can do at any time you like. So what we're creating is a way of you being able to go onto the website and registering an impromptu event. So these are screen grabs from the app on my phone. So I have registered an impromptu event, and here are my details, my car, which is not a special interest vehicle, but and the start date of the event, start time of the event, the location of the start, destination, the event description, and the end location and the end date and the end time. I've agreed to the terms of use, and it's a single vehicle event. So that way, if you have a vehicle that qualifies for special interest vehicle registration, which is an immense saving, it means now that you can use your car at any time you decide that you want to, without fear of running foul with the law, because of registration cameras in police cars. They can tell whether you're registered or not. So they can just pull you up and you can pull out your phone with the app on, say, yep, this is the registered, this is the event I'm on, and off you go. So I think it's an absolutely fantastic thing. And we're fortunate enough that our web marketing guy by the name of Russell Dean runs a business called Hype Creation, and he is able to build all of this this interface that for these. He builds our websites and builds all this sort of stuff for us. So we're really very very privileged.
I used the sorry, Gary. I used the SIV one myself on Saturday night for with the 6.
Yes, I noticed that that you had registered the event. That's fantastic. That's the way it's supposed to be. So we haven't published it yet for a general use until we sort of get the website interface going, so that everyone's going to be able to use it. Now, I just wanted to take a moment also just to let you know that being part of the BMW Club of Queensland, we are part of an umbrella group. We come under BMW Clubs Australia. So there's 17 motorcycle and car club BMW clubs in Australia, and we are one of them. And worldwide, there's something like 700 clubs worldwide, cars and bikes. As you may know, we've just recently had to go through a change of logo. What happened was that they decided to change their logo to this new flat 2D design thing. They've also then changed the way that we operate our the way the logos work. So they have published quite a detailed document which explains to us exactly how the logo has to appear, the shape, the dimensions, the size, and the only area that we are allowed to change is in this little blue area that they call the signet. So that's where we put our identifying logo. So that's the Queensland, sorry, the Australia Queensland shape that we've designed. Everything is very, very highly policed, including the use of the roundel, the use of the M logos. So everything that we do, we have to be very, very, very careful of. But the level of work that goes into the background of all of this stuff is just immense. So what I just wanted to show, why I wanted to show you that, is that we get a lot of support. Well, sorry, the club movement gets a lot of support from BMW Classic in Germany, and they are in constant communication with us through the umbrella group. So not just the club in Queensland, but it's a worldwide organisation, which I think really the BMW organisation, the BMW car clubs, is probably one of the strongest supported club movements in the world. And I think we can be quite proud of that and rather privileged. So there's, as I said, there's an absolute lot of stuff going on in the background. So now I just wanted to also now just open it up to a brief discussion. Does anyone feel free just to give us ideas, give us thoughts, if there's anything you'd like to see, anything local, racetracks. I was reading today that apparently there was a plan to build a motor racing facility at Rockhampton. I read an article from 2020, then I read an article from 2021 where it's not going ahead. So I was excited for a moment, thinking, oh, let's go to Rockhampton. But no, sorry, bugger. So yes, but anyone got anything interesting, any questions, or would like to make any comments about anything to do with the club?
Well, firstly,
I love what we're doing.
Congratulations on that impromptu addition to the SIV, because it really means that you don't garage your car until the next club event. And being able to do a weekend jaunt or a drive on the weekend is a significant benefit.
Absolutely.
It's got special vehicles. So well done on that. That may well cause me to reconsider, taking, because now my car's back on the road, I want to use it. So, I may well still be able to do that by the benefit of the impromptu event, which is good.
Thankfully, the government decided it's about 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago now, that to allow people to create their own event, which has been facilitated being easier to do. It's just taken us a bit to work out how we were going to incorporate it into something usable.
We were a member from the Sunshine Coast, Ross Ingerson, belongs to a group called the Roadrunners Club.
Roadrunners, yes.
I think. And they have instigated this exact system. And why it is so good is that they also use the same background management system that we use, the Wild Apricot system.
Okay.
So the way that they have instigated it gave us, it made our job a heck of a lot easier, because we literally just had a look, saw how they did it, which means that we can just develop it from there. So it's great. It also promotes, and the idea of publishing it on the website, when you create your event, you can either have it as a single car event or a multiple car event. So you can invite other people along on your event. So it's not just, you just don't have to go for a drive by yourself. So if you've got a mate who's got a special interest vehicle as well, you can say, come on, join my event, and off we go. So yeah.
Good.
But they do need to be a member of a affiliated, what do you call it, a CAMS affiliated club. That is the key thing as well.
So it also, this whole process of putting it on the website is also going to make it easier for John Payne, our membership officer who administrates this, because every time someone joins and wants to put a vehicle on special registration, John has to go through a whole lot of steps of gathering information, issuing letters, doing all that sort of stuff. And what we're trying to achieve as part of this whole special interest vehicle situation on the website is to automate it so that the person can go onto that page, fill in all the details themselves. It will generate a PDF that will then they will be able to take as proof to get their registration. So it's a big thing. So it's and hopefully makes John's life a little bit easier now that we've all done a lot of the automation with the membership and cards and things. Now we just have to get special interest vehicles going, and you can go and play with your race car all the time. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Okay. I'll just check my notes to see if there was anything else that I had here. No. So does anyone remotely now see any benefit of having these sort of get-togethers once a month, once every couple of months, once every 6 months, or anything like that?
Well, I'd certainly like to participate in a Zoom, say once every 3 months, where the committee updates us on what's happening and asks for feedback, input, and so on. Because being remote, obviously, I pick up on those events that are going to come up to the Sunshine Coast or in the hinterland and so on, and try to latch onto those.
I think also it gives you a voice, just in conversation. You might come across an event or something that's up your way or in your area that might be of interest. Not only sort of a motorsport or a driving event, but sort of interesting social events and things like that. What we've found, we've tried to get people out of their cars a bit down here by, having going out on a whale watching tour. We had a barefoot bowls afternoon and barbecue. And that's just about getting people together and having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be cars, but love to go for a drive, of course. And, you know, to go for a drive somewhere with a bit of distance out of Brisbane and with the possibility of, you know, overnight somewhere. I think, you know, that's something that I'm really looking forward to. And that's what made me think about whether or not we can have, you know, just once a year, you know, a get together in Rockhampton or something like that. Have a weekend away so that, you know, that a few of you might be able to, at a stretch, come and join us and stand around a car park and talk cars.
Most car clubs do have their annual rally to a particular point, or a national rally where they invite all the other car clubs of similar ilk to come join them. In fact, Adam Smith was telling me that he's planning on attending a classics rally to Canberra relatively early next year.
Yes, well, that is our. We do have a BMW Clubs Australia Nationals every 2 years, and that is that one in Canberra next March. So
Okay.
that is on the calendar for all club members. I know that Greg Timms is going to be going. Greg and Leanne, I'm hopefully going to go. Yeah, they're a great thing. But as I was saying, sorry, Dennis.
I'll probably be there.
Yep. Great. And yeah, but as I said, I was just thinking about it today when I was putting together the agenda for tonight. You know, what's stopping us doing a national event here in Queensland for ourselves? You know,
well, we're due actually for the next one after Canberra. I think it's our turn again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, but what I'm saying
as a national one, but by all means, let's look at the state one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
And what's happened too is traditionally the BMW Nationals were every 2 years. Well, we missed last year and this year, so it'll be 4 years before that, or 4 years from the last. But they were always traditionally around Easter. They've moved it away from Easter now on purpose to sort of free up people to do other things for Easter. So there's an avenue that we might be able to do something for Easter next year.
Yeah. It was also because Easter tends to be so expensive for, you know, accommodation and stuff like that. So I don't know. Anyway, okay.
All right. Sorry, Gary. I was just going to say there is one thing too regarding the special interest vehicles. Some time ago, when we used to go to Bathurst in February for the 12-hour, one of our members who lives at Harvey Bay asked me at the time. He said, "Oh, can I bring my six down to Bathurst for the 12-hour when we go?" Part of the rules with the SIV, there's no restriction on how far you go or how long you're away, as long as you are basically heading in the same direction. So from him to come from Harvey Bay, he could come down through Brisbane, whatever, through Sydney, out to Bathurst, no problem at all for the week or a few days, a week or so, as long as you're not going via Perth. It's all part of the allowable travel for SIV vehicles. So you're not restricted to just around your home area if you're going to a major event.
Right.
So for instance, you could drive from Cairns if you want down to Canberra next year for the Nationals. That's acceptable.
Yeah, I think there might be a restriction if, for example, I think that just the general special interest vehicles, you're allowed to travel, 30 kilometres from home or something. But with the impromptu event thing where you can register, I think that might give you that allowance. I'm not too sure how that works.
Yeah, but I'm talking about as far as an organised event like the National.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
There's no restriction on how far you can go.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Okay. Anyone else? Vader, have you when the restrictions lift, you're going to pick up with your motorsport a bit up here?
Yeah, well, I was particularly keen on Morgan Park, and I think I've missed registration for this year. They got my mate has been in the Alpha Club for quite a long time.
Yep.
and enjoys hanging out with alpha mates, and they don't mind having a few BMWs around the fringes. But that particular group that the Alpha boys are in got oversubscribed, so I'm going to have to see how we go.
Yes.
We were at Morgan Park last Tuesday with Safe Drive, who are the company that we use to do our skid pans with. It was one of their days, and there was the lady from the Mini Club organised it with a bunch of their people, and because she got a few entries, he gave them a discount. I think if you get more than 4 or 5, he gives you a discount. So she spoke to me, and I said, well, I'd be interested in going, and they had 10 spaces left that they hadn't sold. So I put a notice out to our people through our website, and we sold up their whole 10 spaces in a day for them. And we had an entire day at Morgan Park. It was $300 for the entire day for 18 people. So 2 groups, 8 minutes a time, in and out, in and out, in and out. We got, I don't know, 50, 60 laps in for the day. It's fantastic.
Yes, and I saw Christine was saying that she's talking about having another one coming up soon.
Safe Drive do about, on their calendar for a whole year, they do about 4 or 5 of them a year up there. And this one was on their calendar. It was on Tuesday last week. It was on their calendar for the whole year. So he's putting that together now for next year.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that I'm trying to work our calendar around that one so that they don't clash, so people can do both if they want.
Phil, at that particular event, we had 3 M2s, and one of the M2 drivers, very political animal, offered the president of the club a few hot laps. He also complimented me on not getting queasy as the instructor did in his car with him when he took the instructor out on some hot laps.
God.
But those, the M2 is just sensational.
I say you probably need to go for a hot lap with Jeanette one day, Gary. That'll raise the hair on the back of your neck.
Yes, I was also very, very impressed with one of the gentlemen who had his M2 there. He brought his track tyres and wheels with him in the car, and they had individual BMW Motorsport covers on each of the wheels. I thought, that's taking it to the extreme, but I'm that kind of guy myself, so I can't criticise.
I don't say anything.
Yes.
I was going to say we have already looked at those covers on the website, so.
Beautiful, love it.
The next step up will be the heated ones.
Yeah, yes. Then the pit crew, and then yes. Anyway, enough of this silliness. Okay. Anyone else? Peter, Richard, Ray, any comments? No?
Look, I think I agree with the others that if we sort of get together every 3 months, I probably won't get to too many meetings in Brisbane now. I've moved to the Sunshine Coast, but more than happy to sort of sign in every 3 months and have a catch up. But I tend where I can get to the brekkie runs.
Yeah, no, that's great. And in fact, because as I said with that slide that I put up before, there's 123 remote members. I'm happy if we get 5 to 10% of people involved in anything. It's just the way life is. You're members of the club, just because we've got 400 members.
My connection's not the best, so you're cutting out a little bit there.
No. But I think I'll run these things occasionally because hopefully pick up new people as well in country regions that might not have been available tonight. I'll just promote it again. Don't forget that I tend to stay tuned to our Facebook pages. I tend to stream the meetings if you're interested, and stream bits from events and send out as much communication as we can. And as I said, don't hesitate to contact any of us, committee. If you've got any doubts, we're here to help. We've been doing it forever. We love it, and just gives us someone else to talk to. So it's fantastic.
Gary, just I have one thing.
Yep.
I also would be very keen on some sort of you know, a country kind of meeting like this, you know, on a either twice, you know, once every 2 or 3 months would be great. I had one. I don't know how this would work. So I mean, maybe I'm shooting in the dark here, but for the, you know, like I am sure out of those 123 members, there has to be some people that are up in far North Queensland.
Yes.
I don't know how you would go about being able to, I don't know, by zip code or something like that, be able to collate people in certain zip codes to be able to maybe get together, like people from, say, Mackay, Townsville, Airlie Beach, Cairns, Cooktown, up in the Tablelands, where we could sort of, you know, maybe organize a northern drive or something along those lines. I don't know if it's even possible to do it. I know with privacy and all that kind of stuff, I don't know.
Yeah. When I created this list of the 123 members, what I did was I interrogated our database and literally did a zip code search and put people and just did a sort on zip codes. So that enabled me to find out where everyone is. And I think it's really important because I do know that we've got a couple of members in Cairns, apart from yourself. And I do have occasionally got a request from someone else in Cairns to say, is there any club, is there any meetings, anything like that? I think it's just a process of making people aware that there are other people involved or interested in BMWs, in this sort of the communication level. And I'm happy to put together something like that, you know, a register of people in regions, just so that you're aware that, you know, in your particular area, there might be, you know, another 5 people in your area. In fact, I ran out of time this afternoon. I was nearly going to try and create a Queensland, New South Wales map and just put red dots on the map where we got members, so that everyone can see, oh, there's 4 or 5 people up here. There's, you know, 2 in Townsville. There's 1 somewhere else. And I know there's amazing people around that have stepped away from the club because they are remote. There's a wonderful guy in Townsville. He's a Salvation Army officer. I think his name's Lincoln Stevens. And he is building the most beautiful candy apple red E30 that I have ever seen. And he's been working on that for years and years and years. And I see work in progress photos of it. And I'm just enthralled to see what it's going to be like. Now, he's not a member anymore because he's moved to Townsville. But, you know, there's people like that are around that I think we can all benefit by, just by knowing, by occasionally bumping into, being in contact with. And if we can create that sort of ease of communications, that, you know, you know that there's someone else who's also got an F10 in Townsville or something else that, you know, you can do. So
Gary, taking Richard's idea a little bit further, would it be possible to have a committee position for a North Queensland committee member, so that he or she would be able to access the wild apricot system to coordinate these events for North Queensland?
Absolutely. Because as John was saying, Richard, if you have administrator rights to our wild apricot system, that will give you access to the full database of people. And, you know, it's just a matter of someone showing interest in doing something like that. there's nothing written in concrete as far as how we operate and what we do, as long as obviously we respect people's privacy and the rest of the club. But yeah, that might be something that we could look at, especially if there becomes interest in a particular region, that they then know that there is, a central contact point for someone. So,
Gary, if I could mention that I'm involved with the Endeavour Foundation, which obviously looks after disabled people.
Yep.
And while it's headquartered in Brisbane, we have area committees in our regions.
Yep.
And I'm the area committee person on the Sunshine Coast.
Right.
Now, if you had regional groups, as is being suggested by Richard, where you group postcodes, we actually don't have zips in Australia, but it's all right. You could allow those people within that region to come up with an impromptu event to advertise it and perhaps get other people outside of the regions who may want to be interested as well.
Yeah.
And maybe you would, as the headquarters, sponsor those regional events in the different areas progressively throughout the year.
Yes. Yeah.
The other thing is that we do have a big BMW dealership at Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast. And I don't know how well you manage working with dealerships, but they tend to be pretty keen on sponsoring member activities where they can show them new models and invite them along to events.
Yes, well, we in fact recently made contact with them when we came up there with Club Mini Queensland just recently, and that's the first time that I've actually had any direct dealings with them, and they were more than welcoming. So it's something that I really do want to promote, because we do have a lot of people on the Sunshine Coast, lots of members in that whole catchment area, and I would like to develop that a little bit further. Now, can I just ask on a personal note, Gary, when you say the Endeavour Foundation, is that the organisation that does the prize homes?
Yes, it is.
May I just take 3 minutes to tell you a wonderful story? Back in 1985, I went to South Australia for the first Grand Prix. Was it 85 or 84? 85. And we were hosted by the BMW Club of South Australia. The president's name was Ron Viss. Now, Ron Viss is a wonderful guy. He's a motor mechanic, just a lovely man. Anyway, over the years, Ron retired and moved to North Queensland. He's in Cairns. And he runs, and I don't know whether he was still working, but I caught up with him when I went up there for a motoring event around the Atherton Tableland, the Gillies, and he drove my 7 Series for me up there. Now, just recently, we had a show of excellence down here, and we were just about to go to it, and I got a phone call from Ron Viss. And he said, "Oh, Gary," he said, "it's Ron." I said, "Oh, hi." I said, "No, what's going on?" He said, "Well, I'm on the Sunshine Coast and I'm wondering if I can come to your show of excellence." I said, "Yeah, sure, not a problem." I said, "What are you doing on the Sunshine Coast? I thought you were in Cairns." He said, "Well, we're in Cairns, but we had a home, but we wanted to downsize. So we sold our home and we're buying a unit. But in the meantime, the home got sold and then we didn't have anywhere to live." And he said, "And you know what happened?" He said, "I got a phone call from the Endeavour Foundation and I won a home on the Sunshine Coast." Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Now, that could not have happened to a nicer guy. I mean, he is just a wonderful guy. And I think he was involved with with Volkswagens or something like that as a mechanic. But he loved BMWs and was the president of the BMW Club. So, Richard, Ron Viss lives in Cairns, and I can guarantee you that he will now be driving an M2, because when I spoke to him, I said, "What are you doing at this house?" And I said, "Are you moving to the Sunshine Coast?" He said, "No, I love Cairns. We're going back to Cairns, so we'll just sell this," because it's a beautiful home, 5 bedrooms, helipad, tennis courts, everything, an amazing house. And I said, "So you're going to sell it?" He said, "You know what I did?" He said, I went to Coastline BMW the other day and started kicking tires."
Good things happen to good people.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I believe in karma. I just love it. The fact that I was able to buy my M3 back from when I sold it in 2004 and was able to buy it back 10 years later. There is a God up there, and he's blessed me. So that's wonderful. So, Richard, I'm going to give you Ron Visser's telephone number. Yes. Okay, all right. Well, it's 8:30. I think that's probably about enough time out of everyone's night. Anyone else got anything?
Thank you for the invitation.
No.
Right.
I got nothing more.
No.
Yeah, no, all good. Thanks very much for everyone for participation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. As I said, don't hesitate to contact any of the committee about anything. You've got any ideas, please, just don't hesitate. Okay. All right, guys.
Surprised, Gary, when you said that we've got 123 people outside of Brisbane. That's about 30% of our membership.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
So it's a big number.
Yes, it is. But with this sort of thing, and I think it's just promoting it and encouraging people to, hang around and have a chat.
And unfortunately, we've got a damn big state.
It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good night, all. Thank you very much.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for your time. Much appreciated. Okay. Thanks.